Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Found myself. Amazing. Hello. Hi, hi, hi. Gosh, it's warm. Oh, the fan won't quite reach, but we might get something. Yes, I might get something. Hello, 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 hello. Oh, no comments again. Oh, for goodness sake, only small comments. Oh, dear, 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 dear. Oh, my little Norwegian elf is in. Hi. Oh, my gosh, I couldn't believe Magnus was 10. Oh, 10 years old. Amazing. Marge, lovely Marge. Hi, darling. Mrs. Potato Head. Lovely to see everybody. Oh, it's a little bit noisy, isn't it? Sorry about that. I'll turn it off in a bit. I've just been rushing round. Rushing round. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Does it look as though I've got a crown on? Hi, everybody. Hi, Susanna. Hi, Jim. Hi, Diana, Lise, Joe, Gillian, Laurie. Oh, there's always so many, I can't say hi to everybody. Lynn, I hope you got on a bit better with your son after my talk. Not got on a bit better. What was I going to say? Understood a bit better. Oh my gosh, New Zealand's in the house. 5:30 a.m. in the morning in New Zealand. Are you just coming in from a really wild Saturday night? Anne, was it Anne? Sorry. Yes, Anne, are you just coming in from a really, really wild Saturday night, 5:30 in the morning? Do you remember the days? Oh my gosh, I remember the days when, well, in Harrogate, the clubs don't shut till 6. Well, they're not open at the moment because we're all, but the clubs don't shut till 6. But we used to go out and then we used to go to the coffee bars. Yeah. And then sometimes get up and go to work the next day. Couldn't do that now. Couldn't do that now. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Oh yeah, you all should be watching Tim. Has Tim finished? Has Tim finished? I forgot to check when he'd finished. I was talking to him earlier. Well, not talking to him. I texted really briefly. To wish him good luck. We always like to wish each other good luck in a launch, just in case you forget all your words and don't know what to say. So we always like to break a leg, you know. But then I thought he might be on one of his long ones and he might not have finished. Oh, he's still on. Okay. I hope you haven't all defected. Did you all? I hope you all didn't go, right, we're just going to see Dyan now. He'd be like, oh, for goodness sake, tell her I love her. That's what he would say. Oh, you have to have a chandelier in your sewing room, don't you? I have chandeliers everywhere. I love chandeliers. Love them, love them, love them. So you can tell Tim's on because the numbers are only half the numbers that we've been having. So everybody's still watching Tim. I used to love alcoholics, but I can't cope with the odour anymore. I'm so sensitive to things that I can't. Lynn, it's a process, darling. It's a process. It slowly does it. At least you are. At least you are. And the more you understand, the more other people will understand. And, you know, your son just needs, you know, one of you to understand to start with. So, yeah. What do you mean you just... Who was that? Claire, we just quietly left. No, you should have gone, I'm off. I'm off to see Dyan. Ta-ra! Look at this. I bought this the other day. I can't remember where I bought it. I think I got it in Habitat. Oops. Isn't it gorgeous? That'll stop Mr. Boo sitting on it, won't it? Eh? They're not hard to clean, Marion. Not hard. This is a small one. The one in my front room is, oh my gosh, maybe 3 times the size of this. You have to duck to go under it. And both my sons smash their heads on it constantly. You just dust them with a soft cloth. That's all. Oh, Karen grew up in Knaresborough. I'm on the cusp of Knaresborough. I'm on, you know, just there's a road, a forest lane that cuts Knaresborough and Harrogate, and I'm right on there. So my children went to the Knaresborough school. Tim on the TV and me on the phone. Is he doing his wonderful, wonderful demos again? Beth, this is my favourite room in the house. Yes. I've seen that, Judy. I've seen where you hang chandeliers outside. I think it looks beautiful. I think it looks really good. We don't really have junk chandeliers over here. We don't have much junk because we don't have a lot of vintage and stuff. We're a small island, and what we do is just so expensive. But I do love a chandelier, and I love a big chandelier. I have one in my bedroom. I have a long one in my bedroom. And then the biggest one is in the living room. I don't have it in the kitchen anymore. I used to have it in the kitchen dining room, but I don't have one there anymore. So King James, yeah, that's where my kids went. My granddaughter goes there as well now. Maisie's there. So excuse me if I'm always looking down, but I can't see the comments on my phone at the moment. I can only see my comments down here. So it's always something, isn't it? It still won't let me go landscape, but I don't think I'm teaching for another week, another 9 days or something. So it will be all right. It'll be fine. So, right, let's have a... So I'm up in my sewing room, and this was the master bedroom. So you can see it has the wardrobe. So I'll stand up and show you in a minute. And then I altered them all. So I had my son make shelves for me. So that's why there's a mirror behind me. Last time I was up here, I actually sat at the opposite side. But then I'm all kerfuffle because I don't know. I just don't know where everything is if I'm at the other side. So I'm really sorry that you have to see the back of me. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Look at my lovely little plait. My lovely little plait. You can see that in the mirror, can't you? It was driving me mad today. It's so humid. The curls like this. Let me out. Let me out. It's just raining so bad. So yes, so we're up in the sewing room. None of the lights, oh, sorry, was that the chandelier light just came bad for you? The lights are on, have to be, because of the chandelier, it's, if I put the other lights on, it just goes bad. So I'm sorry if it's a little bit dark, if we look tired here today. Oh, my lovely cousin is watching. Hello, Andrea. What a darling. How lovely to see you. So yes, I'm up here in the sewing room, and this is my favourite room in the house. Just lately it's been overtaken a little bit by the girls. The girls have been working up here because they couldn't work in the kitchen. So they've been working up here at my desk. So I've not been in as often actually, but the small bedroom, I'm going to put a desk in there. So I'm going to put a nice desk in there, and then the girls can work in there as well. Or they can work in either. Is that chandelier? Let me just... There we go. I'm sorry if that chandelier's in the way. There's no other way. It's either the chandelier or my boobs, so I just don't know what can I say. So this is my master bedroom, and I would rather sleep in a smaller bedroom. There's only me. I would rather sleep in a smaller bedroom and have this as a sewing room. I used to have a sewing room years ago because I used to actually work. I used to work as a seamstress. I used to have big industrial machines, and I used to do, when the kids were little, I started off making kids' clothes, and I had my own little business doing that. I've just caught my blooming eye. I knew I was going to do that. Look, talking about picking, I've just got that. Then I did alterations for a couple of shops in town, and then I did soft furnishings. So I used to work for a big curtain shop, and I used to do all soft furnishings and things. And then I also used to make ball gowns and wedding dresses, would you believe? So I've always sewn because it was something that I could do at home. So I used to put the kids to bed, and then I would get out and I would sew all night and things like that. And industrial machines are not as noisy. They have more of a hum. So I used to do them downstairs. So I always sort of had an area, and it was always my dream to have a sewing room, really, for my fabric. And somewhere where I didn't have to put things away all the time. You know, I could keep them out. So this is it. This is my sewing room. So I'm just going to turn it round and give you a brief look, and then I'll show you some bit more detail. So this is my view. Let me turn it. Here we go. So this is the window. The window's next to me. The window's on the right. There is my lovely new drive with my lovely Mini on there. Oh, what a gorgeous drive. So this is the view. The blinds are sort of up because Mr. Boo likes to sit on there. Some of my little vintage still. My candlesticks are great for holding tape. And then there's a vintage sewing machine over there as well. This light is normally on for when I'm sewing. So I have my kettle here. And then I have these drawers all over the house. And they have all essentials in. This has just arrived, actually. This is... Oh, why are things back to front? 1 minute. There we go. Curious and Curiouser is Tula Pink's next new fabric coming out. And these are her matching threads. So Ben is going to be getting the fabric out. I think he's got a shipping notice, so it'll land. The fabric will land next week. We don't get the threads, but those are the threads that have just arrived. So I have that. I have a little old vintage sewing drawer, which keeps all my clips, my little clips when I fold my fabric, you'll see. And then I have other little drawers there as well that have all like my little clips and all my safety pins and my cutters on the top. So they sit there, and they're on top of an upturned unit. So then here these are all the things that I grab if I'm sitting here. So in the corner, I have all my knitting needles there, all my sewing, though they are all sewing scissors. These are not, these are hand scissors, those are sewing scissors. My tea bags. My house used to be all vintage, so I still have little bits left over, which is quite nice. And so I still keep them. And then the drawers, that's all sewing machine. This is all rulers, etc. So I have all the drawers here. I've given a few of these to Emmy for her stuff. So that's there. And then opposite me is the Alexander Henry unit. Well, actually, there at the bottom, that's the... that at the bottom is is some of Tim's fabric abandoned. He has abandoned 1 and he has abandoned 2, and they're both down there, and they are actually from the studio, but I do all the cutting, and we're waiting for a new cutting table up there, so I've been cutting it all at home. You can see I've got the cutting mats on my table, because my table goes up and down for my back, so that's not normally there. That pile of fabric is not normally there. Ben's wedding photo there, a lovely little... thing above, which Dina bought me. So this is some of mine, some extra bolts that I buy for backing. And then over there, I used to have a bigger chest of drawers, but I swapped it for this small chest of drawers. And that underneath here is actually a television, and I watch it about twice a year. So it's just covered up with one of my quilts that needs a backing. And then I've got Jay's wedding photo, the bluebells that lovely Miss Betsy has been picking them for us every morning this week. The bluebells are on there. Mr. Boo. And then there's a picture of me and Martha and a flower she did. And I think Betsy bought me the flamingo. So I changed. And those brushes in the big pot, I've had those brushes for, I think, 24 years, ever since I first started teaching. So about 23 years I've had those brushes. Up top, there's an overlocker, and I can't think what's in those. I can't think what's in those baskets there. Because the drawers were taller, there wasn't a gap. I will buy another picture to put in that gap there. Here I've got, this is a Simplicity poster of one of the cats. I've got another cat somewhere as well, the heads. And then I have here, this is a vintage fashion preview that lovely Kathy at Ranger bought me, and I actually cut it up and put it into frames. I don't think you're supposed to cut them up. So that is the wall that you can see there. That's got a lot of knitting in. I'll go through them. The door in the corner has all quilts on that I've actually made, and then that side of the room is all fabric. And then there is my little chair that I had recovered, and I sit there and I do all my hand sewing, which is why there's lots of little lamps over there as well. And I usually have one of the little carts next to me, but I've actually got 2 in here at the moment. One's still here from when I was doing the filming up here. And I highly recommend getting these wooden boards to put on the top, because they're just smarten everything up so quickly. So I think Emmy might be going to use that. And it'll normally sit under the desk at the side there, but... I don't want to fall over it today. So, and then in the corner I have lots of lining, lots and lots of lining fabric. So that is my view here. So it's rather gorgeous, isn't it? But I've done it. I'm getting all new blinds. We're getting all white blinds for all over the house. I'm still waiting for the blinds to come back. Where's my reverse gone? Oh no, reverse has gone missing. Oh, there we go. Okay, so am I... I'm the wrong way again. Oh, goodness me, it's such a kerfuffle trying to work this out, this new... There we go, I think I'm the right way. So that is the basis of my sewing room, really, and then I'll go through things and I will show you different bits. And, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm so jealous and you're so lucky. No, I'm not lucky. I've worked for it. Most of this fabric I've picked up on my travels or bought. You know, I go to a lot of stores. I've bought it all bit by bit by bit. And I use tons of fabric as well. So, you know, and it's very ordered. I'll show you it all in a minute. So, so behind me, let me go this way. Oops, wrong way again. Hang on. Oh, sorry. There we go. Oh, seriously. Facebook, what are you doing to me? Okay, so in this cupboard here, so Tom built these shelves. I haven't got round to painting them yet at all. That's where my big mean machine lives. That costs, that's a fortune. That's a big Juki sewing machine. And then these are mainly kits. So these are mainly kits in there. These are Kaffe facet kits. That's a Tula kit. This is Kaffe. These are sort of odds and ends. This is all Anna Marie Horner up here. Underneath is a lot of Tula as well. The pillows up the top. So this has like all the bulk stuff. It has all my paper pieces that I use. So all my paper pieces, etc., are in there. There's also all my little rulers. I'm extremely organised. Behind that thread, you can see there's more kits, more paper pieces. I know exactly where everything is. So that's that one there. And then these are Christmas panels. I know exactly what it all is and what it all does. And then this is my, I don't know what to call this part here. That's all my ironing water. Look, I have all my ironing waters. They're little cross-stitch kits at the back. This is all EPP, really. This is my English paper piecing all around here. So these are all the bits for that, which I'll talk about in a minute. I keep all my big rulers, etc. there. This is some threads. This is mixed threads. As I use it, I throw it back in here. But here I have so many threads. That's just my black and whites. That's some colours. I have them all over. These are all bits. Odds and ends, little bits. This is oops, I might have to unplug this. Hang on, there we go. Oh, it got caught round my chair. This is all my English paper piecing threads. Actually, that's for the sashiko, but this is all English paper piecing threads in there and more English paper piecing kits up there. So that's those cupboards. I do have some other stuff stashed, but badly. Let me just turn this off. Okay, so, and then we come to my lovely chair that I got covered. And then these are some just little, these were from Joann's, this material. I've got quite a bit of this, and I just made some little cushions. And I also had I made a throw for the chair as well, because Mr. Boo sits in there a lot. He loves to sit in that chair. So I made this little thing that I can take this and I can wash this. So I'm not bothered about him sitting in my nice chair. And I have a matching footstool as well. So if I just move that one. So this is a Tula. These are actually, both of these, this is Tula cabinets. And they all go in, let me come around, they go in order. So this was all her homemade. You can see if I open, maybe if I open it, you'll see it better. Okay, so this is homemade up there. This is all true colours. That's some very rare Bumble, and that is some extremely rare Elizabeth Selfie, so she's in there because of that. This is one of my favourites. This is Della Luna. A lot of you'll have seen me in dresses from this range. I've done a lot of Della Luna. And then this is All Stars. So all these spots and stripes. And Ben is just getting in. He's just getting in all the spots. I've nagged him so much that he is now... Whoops! I'll just move this lamp. I've nagged him that much that he is now slowly getting more and more of the Tula in. So he's getting in all the spots. Again, this is All Stars down here. And this is Pinkerville. So this is some of her older and rarer. So that's a lot of Pinkerville. And this at the bottom is Zuma. So there's a lot of Zoomer there. And again, I've bought it up from stores, and my lovely friend Jill at Whimsy Doodle, I used to buy a lot of fabric from her as well. So they're behind doors to protect them from the dust. Okay. So that's what they are. They're from there. So then this cabinet, the next cabinet along, still mainly Tula. So this is Tabby Road, which is the cat. So this is all Tabby Road. This is selling for a fortune at the moment. So is Della Luna, actually. They are selling for a fortune, but I wouldn't part with it. This is still Tabby Road. And then these are all fat quarters of, you know, out of print ones, really. That's the Christmas. This is all, you'll have seen me in dresses in this fabric as well. This is Monkey Wrench. So I have those. This was her last one out. This is line work. I have a lot more of this somewhere else, but this is where I just have bits of it in there. And then this is really old again. So this is chipper, a lot of chipper, a lot of old, worth money tool. I'm just going to get this to sit on. And then we come down, this is mainly kiddies type of stuff. So I have cowboys, I have cars, I have the post boxes, a lot of flamingos, stuff like that. Spider Woman, Wizard of Oz, all sorts of different bits there. Again, cowboys, Cat in the Hat stuff. My famous swatch one that I got in Canada. That again, you've seen me in dresses in that. Some bigger amounts there. So that is number 2. And then this is number 3. So this is Christmas. This is all Christmas in here. This is Anna Marie Horner. I belong to fabric clubs as well, where you get 6 meters. This is, if it's small, you can see it's small like that, it's usually a yard. So you get 6 older yards of fabric. So I collect those as well. Again, this is Anna Marie Horner. This is the new Natalie Late country. You can see I'm really organised. These are some little kits, like little kits to make little quilts. If I've got no inspiration, I'll just do those. And a lot of these, I mean, you might think, oh gosh, she's got so much fabric, it's ridiculous. It probably is to you, it's not to me. I do a ton of sewing, so it's not ridiculous to me, you know. And it probably will all get used up. I can't tell you the amount of fabric I've had over the years. This is all Kaif. This is Kaif Facet. So all that there is him. This is Kaif as well, actually. This is all Kaif. Oh, where's my stool? And then we go down to Tim. Now, Tim's Christmas is in the other room because it has its own cabinet. So all Tim's Christmas is next door. But this is abandoned, I think, to there. I think that's abandoned 1. And then this is what I've got left of abandoned 2. I need to talk really nicely to him because that's all I've got left of abandoned 2. And it's selling that fast out from the heart that he won't let me have any. So these are the boards that everything gets folded round. These are comic book boards. And I just buy a big pack of them and everything is folded round those. I'll show you a thing in a minute. Some these are really old magazines, actually. Selvage, February 06. But I do still like them. And then down here is some of his older stuff. Because again, I've used his fabric for ages. He's very good as well. He will send me bits and he'll send me older things as well. Because he knows that I will use it. So this is all Halloween down here. And then, you know, I've got a dress in this. 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 I've got, you know. So that's the rest of Tim's. And everything else of Tim's I have in bolts, so it's separately. It's Carol, did you order from Out from the Heart? Because if you did, I cut it out the other day. So those are the three, and they are IKEA Billy cabinets with the doors on. They're not expensive, and I just wanted white to show off the fabric. So up there we have the baskets. They all have wool in them. So just loads and loads and loads of wool. A little Buddha. The small basket there has patterns, and that's just some wool kits that I've bought from Wool and the Gang, I think. So that's wool. That's the entrance out into my hall. Some big scissors that just hang there, and then these are quilts that let's have a look. Let me take some of these off, then we can see. So these are quilts that I've made. So there's a line work one. And that's an Anna Marie Horner. That's in hindsight. And I'm wanting Tom. That's another Anna Marie Horner. That's the first ever quilt I made. And my good friend Jill of Whimsadoodle, if you're American, she still has a store. She has an online store just doing fabric. She used to have a fabulous store, and she closed it. But she still has an online store. Okay, so she'd made a quilt in these fabrics, and I adored it. But look, I put some leopard on it. But that's an Anna Marie Horner. So that's one of the first quilts I did. And there's another line work quilt that I did as well. When I have black on my bed, this one goes on my bed. So Tom's going to make me, for above here, is going to make me a display where I can put the quilts in and display them. So come round the room. I have my steam iron. I would never be without a steam iron. And there's my knitting bag. Actually, I'm going to put that over there because I want to talk about that. And then here's another cabinet. This is hanging on there are things that need finishing. So again, this is abandoned. This is abandoned one. This was his first fabric. So that's a pillow, a cushion that I'm making. So, I mean, the colours are just stunning. So that was abandoned one. And that... I made Emmy a big quilt for her birthday, which was January, and that's the pillow that I still haven't finished. So I need to do that. So that hangs. So this is another cabinet here. So this is on the wall opposite me. Okay, and this one has a bit of a mixture in. So here, these are sort of quite newer designers. So this is Alison Glass, Juicy Juice. So I just have bits of theirs. This is kit. This again, Alison Glass, Juicy Juice. This is Halloween kits. This was the Joann's fabric. You know, I showed you the cushions that I'd made. This was their Simplicity range. I was going to make dresses out of them, but I don't wear dresses anymore. So, but we'll still see. These are lots of blankets that I've knitted. It's loads and loads of blankets, and I just give them away. This is a massive patchwork blanket for my bed. And it just needs sewing together, and it's just loads and loads of squares and then loads of black in between. So I just need to sew it. More baskets up the top again. Oh, my Burberry box with my belt in, and then the lovely Jim Hankins made me that beautiful Santa. So anyway, then I have lots of, we call it tapestry. I don't know what you call it. These are Kaffe Fassett tapestries. Look at that one. This is Anna Marie Horner. Oh, I need to do that, but take the eye out. Again, this is another Anna Marie Horner. These are some kits. These are really good. Ben sells these. And oops, they come in two colourways. And it's kits to make these two bags. And you get everything. You get the fabric, you get everything. And you get the stuff to make them stand up. They come in two colourways. So they're Ben's. This is a gorgeous Christmas that I'm going to do a lot with. Can you see the deer? That is this Christmas here. But because I was using a lot of Ben's, just let me roll this up. Sorry, I'm just going to have to put you on there. It'll go black. I'm so sorry about that. Oops, 1 minute. There we go. Sorry about that. Because I was doing all Tim's last year. I didn't do this, but this is what I'm going to make the grandkids quilts with. It's really sort of old-fashioned, gorgeous, you know. So there's a lot of that there because I want to make a lot of the things with them. And then this is Halloween. So not Tim's Halloween, but just normal Halloween. And I've probably got a dress in every single one of those fabrics. You know what I'm like. This is my fabric look. Recognise it? So there's mine there. I don't know where the other colourway is. I have 2 colourways of that. And then this is just sort of general. That's a lot of cats. And again, I used to have dresses in all these. That's when I used to make sort of sarong things as well. And then spots and linings, really. I used to line a lot of my dresses in black and red. So lots of linings there. An extra magnifying glass lamp here. This is under the other side of the table is the big cowboy bench, which is going to go in the other room. There's some more quilts, which I'll show you. So this is the first EPP I ever did. That's Tula Pink Sunrise. A little picture of me and Martha. Mr. Boo. Jay and Tom. Ben and Katie, and Miss Maisie, actually. And then in here is all my Alexander Henry. Okay, and I used to use this for dresses. So normally you can get in here, but at the moment, because I'm doing a lot of cutting for Ben, all Tim's fabric is piled in front of it. So this is abandoned 1, and it's abandoned 2 as well. So this is all, I mean, how many dresses have I got in these cowboys? I can't open the door, so you're going to get a bit of a glare. But this is all Alexander Henry, and it's really, really hard to find in the UK. So all of this I've bought on my travels, really. And then this is Rifle. There's like different makes here. That's Gertie. And that I actually bought in Australia with the lovely, oh my gosh, I've forgotten her name, from Bella Paperie. Oh my gosh, I can remember the store and I can't remember her name. Anyway, we bought all that and I travelled back with it. And then there's a load more underneath. There's a lot of jersey. Here, a big woolly that I'm obviously in the middle of. In the middle of knitting. That'll have been last year's that I was knitting. So that's down there. There's that lovely sewing machine. And then I have another IKEA unit turned sideways there. Which is good for the surface. Because Mr. Boo likes to jump up. These are Tula Pink backings. So these are mine. I buy things by the bolt. And then down here I have, this is all quilting. These are all Kaif's books. And I used to buy them before I really liked quilting. And then there's Tula Pink. There's more boards that I wrap the fabric on. Quilting books. I just adore books. You can see by mistake I've got a couple each. More kits, more Tula Pink kits there. And I think that's sewing. So, yeah. And that's it. That's where you looked, where you saw me before, around there. So those baskets are from Home Base. And you get 3. You get that one, and that one for like £30. And they fold down. So they come together. I think they're just really useful. I just love them. So, yeah, that's it. That is my sewing room. So let's come back over here and I shall show you a few bits. Sorry about that, if I made you a bit dizzy. Let me just put this down. So, under here, I have... Ooh! What have I got under here? Let me just put the table down a little bit. It only goes so far now. I've got that bookshelf there. So this is what I was going to do today, and then I couldn't be bothered. I ended up sorting the units, not in the kitchen, the units in my living room. I ended up sorting all the books and moving them around, and it took me most of the day to do. And then I came up and I just did a little bit of hand stitching. But this room, if I'm manic, I come in this room and I just look round, and it just soothes me because it's very orderly. There's a lot in, but it's very orderly. All the fabrics, you know, are folded and done. It's a very, very peaceful room. So I don't like, you know, clutter. That's why the television's covered and that. And some people might think there's a lot in it, there's too much, but to me, it's heaven. It's like having a library. It's like having a library in your house. If I still read books, this would probably be a library. I mean, I still do buy all the art books and things like that, but the reading books, I mean, I think I've got 2,500 books on my Audible, but I used to be like this with books, and now it's sort of the fabric. So I was going to finish this today and I never got round to it. So this is a big hexagon quilt. Again, this is done in the latest Tim Holtz. So this is just released about a week ago. So this is his latest. This is Abandoned 2. This is a very old fabric that I've done it with. And this is all hand-pieced. You can see on the back, it's all hand-pieced together. This is called EPP, English paper piecing. So, and this is what I like to do. I find it extremely therapeutic. So that needs the wadding putting in. Oops. That needs the wadding putting in, and then quilting. I'm a novice to this. I'm totally self-taught. So when I quilt, I just do straight lines because I don't want to get into any of the others. So, but I wanted to show you this one. But I don't know if you'll get the impression of how big this is. This is half of it. This is just half. You see how massive it is? It's just half of it. And again, this is done the same. This is English paper piecing. And I started off just making this inner flower. So one flower with 6 round it. And I made a pile of those. And then I put another ring round and another ring round. And then I made loads of those. And then I pieced them all together. And this has taken about a year on and off because I do loads, and then I put this one on the edge. So this is all in that Della Luna fabric. All in the Della Luna, and this is for my bed. But I actually finished it 3 months ago, but I just can't bring myself to quilt it because it is massive. It's king size. It's a king size cover. So it's got to be quilted. So it's absolutely massive. It will get it done eventually, but it's just underneath there at the moment. And then it's so heavy on its own. I don't know what it'll be like when it's quilted. And then this is the finished quilt that I stamped with my stamps. So I actually quilted it. Can you see? It's got the houses on there. And here, this is Tula Pink. This is Tula as well. This is Zoom. This is line work. But can you see it's got the houses? It's got all my quilt stamps on. So these I just stamped them. I took all the fabric. This is Tula Pink's plain colours fabric. And I stamped my stamps all over them. And again, I hand-pieced it. They're all hand-pieced. And the quilting is really bad, but I don't care. It's like everything I do. Quilting to me is like doodling. It's just therapeutic. And then I backed it with her big line work. So that's what that big roll I've got on there is. It's her line work. So that is a quilt that nobody else will ever have, because it's just so original. My the stamping will fade eventually because it's just an archival ink, but the memory will never fade. The memory will never fade that I've done that. It's archival, so it will wash, but eventually it will, especially with using it. And that's what quilts are for. Quilts are to use. This was the biggest quilt I'd ever quilted. Biggest quilt I'd ever quilted, really. So that's those there. So the one I'm making at the moment, I have baskets everywhere. I love baskets. I love shopping bags. I really like these. These are, what are they called? Handed by. I think these are handed by. And they're made out, they're recycled. They're all recycled. I like these baskets because they stand up. And so I have everything in. So a project's in here. And the project in there is this one. The Cherish quilt. And this was a bomb. This was a block of the month from Pink Door Fabrics. And I get them, every month you get part of it. But I get them sent to Ranger. So by the time they get over here, it's way behind. And there's 1 out of every 3 is always missing. So 1 out of every 3 is missing. But anyway, so that's the one I'm finishing off at the moment. And again, you do things like, so you start like this. This is the little bit. And then you would go like this. See, so you start like that. And then you do this. And then you sew them, you would sew all these to this, and you would end up with this. Okay, so they want sewing together, and then all of those, one of those is one of those, and then you sew them together like so. And oh, there's some separate bits in here, and then you just put it together like a jigsaw. So there's the rest of it. And this is done with Tula Pink Homemade, so that's nearly finished. That is nearly finished. And I'm going to do one of these with Tim's Christmas. So I always have everything in a bag once I start a project. And then I have, oh, Molten Brown boxes. So I always have little, I'm very, very organised. So for example, these were all attached to this. That's the middle. These are all the parts. I make them like this. Then I sew it together. So it's always organised. Like that's a half one. Can you see everything is attached to it? Ready, and those are the edge pieces there, and you just sew, yeah, they sew all together. So that's that. And then the lid, this is the lid of the Molten Brown. This has all my bits on. Let's see if I can tip this down. Not very well, hang on. So this is my go-to. If when I'm traveling, when I'm on a plane, I have this bag. And this bag was given to me by the lovely Donna and Winona, and I think it's a 39 bag. I'm not sure, but when I'm traveling, I'm on a plane, I put all this in here, and you can see actually in here, I've got some hexagons ready done, and some papers, and then there's some templates. Okay, so you could take my templates, my quilts, and you could cut round, make your own cards, and then you just cut little 2.5 inches of fabric to make these. So this is what I would take on a plane, one of these little bags. But around the house, I just like this. And so in it, this is the best. This is a needle threader, because I can't blooming see. And look at the size. This is the needle. It's tiny, tiny, tiny. When you're paper piecing, you just want a small needle. I always use Aurifil fabric, but all you do is you put your needle in there, you put your thread there, you press, and look at that, your needle is threaded. So that always goes on the plane with me as well. I love a pair of snips. Then I always use like something like this, Thread Magic. I use, in normal sewing, I would use beeswax, but with this I use Thread Magic, and you just run your thread through and it helps it from tangling. So I use Thread Magic, And then the other thing that I use all the time is these thimbles. You'll see there's one on there. I don't like thimbles, so these are like, oh, I can't think what name it is. Hang on, everybody's talking about this. What's it called? Clover. You can get it in quilt shops. I bought this, oh, I can't remember where, but you can get it in quilt shops, sewing shops. A last resort, you can get it from Amazon. Okay, so it's a clover one, and I love it. I just absolutely, and I've tried all sorts, but this is my favourite. So much so I've got 2 of these. Okay, and then this is what I use as a thimble. So I buy these little, I can't remember what they're called. 1 minute. Oh, I don't know. This is a different type. This is one stuck on the bottom here. I have them stuck everywhere. Whoops. There's that one which has like double-sided tape on. And then there's this one which is like leather. And I use those. And then I just peel them off when I'm not working. And I just pop them on. I pop them on there. And you can reuse them over and over and over and over. And then lots and lots of clips. I always have loads of clips. I have the big ones for those, and I have little ones. So that is my, and when I'm around the house, or I always have a trolley next to that chair or downstairs, or even this will come outside when I'm sat in my easy chair. But what I'll do is I'll probably put it in there when I'm in my swingy chair. I put the bits like that. So that is my sewing thing. And then I also have, I love prep. I love prep. And again, it's another thing that I do for maintenance. So this is all the spares from that big quilt. So, you know, I could start another one. But this is how I started. I just started with making little circles. So this is the papers that were inside. They're reusable. You can use them again and again and again. So, and I use these, the Sew Line glue pens, and I get all these from Lina Patchwork in the UK, Lina, Lina Patchwork. So this is the repositionable glue that I use. So what you would do is you would take a, so you could draw through my Dyalog stencil and get this shape, and then you pop this, pop it on, and then you just add the glue and you fold over. So sometimes I'll sit here for an hour listening to a talking book, just making loads of these ready. And this is how I did Tim's as well, but Tim's are 2-inch. This is a 1-inch. Tim's are the much bigger. Tim's is a 2-inch. So, and that's it. You've got that. And then you sew the two together. So you would choose that maybe for the inside, and then you would stitch that end. That would open. Then you would get another one, attach it, stitch that end. It would open, go all the way around, and then you stitch these ends. And then you can remove the card from the middle one. So and again, this would travel with me, because I've sat on a plane with things like this. When I went to Australia, I think I did tons of those. This is my gluing mat. It's a little it's a cutting mat, but this is just has glue all over, and it turns so when I do it. So I have that one. So that is really useful. And then there's also this is more. So these must be the leftovers. Okay, so there's lots made here, and then that's showing. So I could make another whole quilt out of it all. So that one is the Dylusions, and this one is, the Tabby Road. So people are asking, what do I do with them? I've just shown you. You make this. You make this with it. Where is it? This started life as this massive quilt. It weighs a ton. does that quilt. It's so big. But that's what you do. You start off making these little bits, and then you make these, and then you end up with a massive habit. So this is a quilt for Mr. Boo. So this is exactly the same. But this is all cat. This is cat fabric. So that's for Mr. Boo, and he will have that. I am the queen of organisation. I think you have to be organised. So everything's in, you know, these boxes. And again, I know exactly where everything is. And with English paper piecing, a lot of people get really panicky that you can see your stitches. I don't care. It's a bit like my doodling. I don't care if you can see it. I just enjoy doing it. My quilts would never win any prizes at all because they're really badly made, but I don't care because I've made them. And plus I've taught myself. Do you see what I mean? So, so that's... Oh, the quilt's fallen off. So, but that big one, I might get that one sent out. I don't know. And then there's just papers all over, and yeah. So, oof. Oh, let me put that back. This is always good for these. After 8 tins are really good for when you're on the move, because you can fit your papers across those really nice. This is all Tim's Christmas scraps. Even my scraps are ordered. I'm such an organised person, aren't I? So that can go back in there. So they're sort of accessible. So that's the one I'm working on at the moment, and it's there. And then I'm going to do that in a Christmas fabric. And then this is always by the door, ready. And this is my knitting. So, and all I do is knit blankets. And it's so soft. I use a really good wool. I use the Wool and the Gang. I think it's in the Netherlands, this. I use the Wool and the Gang Shiny Happy Cotton. Is this back to front? Can you see that? Might be back to front. It's about £10 a ball, but it's just so lovely. And this is a massive thing for my mental health. I use quite big needles. I think these might be a 6.5. Yeah, these are 6.5. I don't know what they are in America. I only know what they are in England. So they're a 6.5, and I like these prim. They're sort of triangular shaped, and they're really ergonomic. So I like these. So I have loads and loads of these. And I just do a basic stitch. You can see I just do a basic stitch because it's not about what it looks like eventually. I count as I knit. So I think this has probably got 150 stitches on. And so when I'm very anxious, we were talking about this the other day, when I'm extremely anxious, I will excuse myself and I will knit. And sometimes I will take knitting with me. And I'm a bit near the table. I would never knit sat like this, but just this very fact of doing this and counting in my head is so soothing and so good for my mental health because it's repetition, okay? But you can get really bored, so that's why I change colour all the way through. And I don't even count rows. I just go till the ball of wool's run out and then I start again because it's not the thing. I could knit this and then start again at the other end, unthread it and start knitting it again because it's not about having the finished thing. It's how it regulates my mental health. It's how it keeps me sane. So everybody I know have got Mama blankets. They just, I think Martha's got rainbows, Edith's got pinks, Betsy's got about 5 because every time she comes she steals another one. In fact, the Moore family have got about a dozen of my blankets in their house. But this, to me, is really therapeutic. You'll notice as well these needles don't really make a noise. They don't really make a noise at all, which is satisfying to me. But I normally have my headphones on anyway. Now, I can knit fancy. I can knit Fair Isle. I can knit Aran. I just don't want to because I don't have to think with this. I don't have to think. And that's all I do. And I know when some people see me knitting on a plane, they're like, oh, what are you knitting? And I go, oh, I'm knitting a blanket. And they go, oh, are you new to knitting? Because it's such a simple thing. And I'm like, no, I've been doing it, you know, I've been doing it over 50 years, actually. I just choose to knit simple things because, you know, look, I can talk to you, I can knit at the same time, and it's just therapeutic, except I have to get to the end of the row. I can't finish mid-row, so I'm just going to have to chat to you a minute while I get to the end of this row, because the sky might fall in if I don't get to the end of the row. So this is never usually far from my side. I will take it all over, and I have been known to have, again, this is a basket from the gorgeous Donna and Winona. Again, I think it's one of those 39. I don't know what the company's called, and I just adore them. So they got me quite a lot, but they're just great for travel. We don't have it in this country, but I think it's a bit like Party Plan in America. But you see, I have to get to the end of the row no matter what. I can't do. If I'm on a plane, I won't get off the plane until I've finished the end of till I've got to the end of the row. It's great to knit these in winter because when you're on a plane, they just keep you warm. It's hard when they get so big. I usually do, I do 7 or 9 colours. I always do odd colours. So this one so far, I'm on the 4th colour. That's how big it is. So it'll be double. If I do a 7, it'll be double. And I just use quite neutral colours. And I just, look, not much to go. I'm just very sorry about this. I knew I shouldn't have started a row. And, you know, if I drop a stitch, I don't cry and tear the whole thing out. I just mend that stitch, or sometimes I'll sew it in, and that's it. It's done. There's no point fussing. I do it for my... No, that's Ilona, Manuela. I'm talking about Winona in America. It is what it is, you know. So I don't mind if I've got... You know, Martha has got the first blanket that I started knitting again. It's a rainbow, and I knitted it really badly. I dropped loads of stitches and all sorts, but I still gave her it. And I've wanted to make her a new one, and she didn't want a new one, and her mum didn't want me to make a new one because she loves that one, and it has got so many mistakes and everything in. But it was the first blanket I knitted, and I knitted it for her, and she absolutely adores it, and she has it on her bed. So there, I'm at the end. She has it on her bed, so she loves it. So in this basket, I have the other colours of wool, because you never know where you're going to be and you might run out, because I do knit fast. I have a needle, so I can sew ends in. I have a couple of clips for my hair. Oh, a couple of, what's that? Oh, cleansing wipes. They're for my glasses. Cleansing wipes. Eyeglass cleaner. Another glass cleaner. Odds and sods. And there'll be a pair of, yeah, I'm going to say there'll be a pair of scissors somewhere. There's always a pair of scissors. Some plasters. Oh. They're not, they shouldn't be in there. They should be in that one. Isn't that amazing? And another clip. So, yeah, so that is my knitting bag, and that's what I do. I lead such an exciting life, don't I? I used to be out raving. Oh my God, I never used to be in. I used to go raving in a bikini and trainers. And now I live on my own, knitting and sewing and having the best time ever. So I've missed all your comments. I have no idea what people have been commenting or doing in here. I just saw odd ones. Can't leave the crochet, knit a different way, crochet one lower row, yeah. That big one down there is circular needles. I prefer straight ones though, because with a straight one you get to an end. So for me, for repetition, I get to the end. It's the thing of turning it round and starting again. So I have to have straight ones. So Lucy's in. Hi, Lucy. How are those twins? Maisie's mum has got 4 girls. So Maisie is 15 and Iris was 6. Was it today or was it yesterday? Iris is 6. She remarried and she has gorgeous twins and they must be coming up a year. Gosh, are they coming up a year, Lucy? Ada and Mitzi, absolutely gorgeous. Laurie, considering taking up knitting. It's just plain, just you know, I just like it. I just like, oh, Darcy, yes. I didn't realise it was you, Darcy. So Darcy made me this. Yeah, because I don't sew anymore, Darcy. So Darcy used to come to me at Art from the Heart, okay? And we used to sew and we used to do all sorts together. She's another redhead like me, except she always has 2 plaits. And she made me this gorgeous, and what it is, it's a thread. It's a bit catcher. That's got a, hang on, let me explain how it's meant to be. So this is weighted and this sits on your table and it's a pin cushion. You put all your pins in and things like that. This hangs over the edge of the table and you put all your bits in it. Okay, so you drop all, you know, the ends. But because I don't sew so much like that anymore, I still keep it. I keep everything people make for me. I keep it. I have my scissors in it, my normal scissors. And then in here I have some labels. I have different labels for quilts and clothes and things. Oh, that's multi-pack. What does that say? This one has sweary labels. Let me see what these labels say. They've got F-bombs in these labels, which I could add to some quilts. Let's see what they say. Oh, quality shit. What does that one say? Oh, hand effing made. That just make me laugh. Cute AF. So I sew them into things. So they're all in there. And then this glove is attached to it because my son lost half his finger so many years ago. And in winter, he really struggles. He's a carpenter. He really struggles. So this is to remind me to chop that finger off of his glove and sew it up so that he can wear gloves. So that's clipped to it. So yes, and that is up there. I usually keep everything, you know. So yeah, so thank you for that, Darcy. I didn't realise it was you on there. So that's gone very good. It is years ago. Gosh, it must be 12, 13 years ago, Darcy, something like that. Lynn's teaching her daughter with a disability knit and she's enjoying it. It's good. Barry, yes, you do. Men make great knitters. It's so good for anxiety, Barry, because even if you just cast on 20 stitches, it's the fact I count. So then I sew 1, 2, 3, 4. And when I get to 20, that's a finish. So I've completed something, and then I turn it round and then I start again and I count back the other way. And I do it in 5. When I've got something smaller, I do it in 5s. But I was making all these long scarves that nobody needed, so that's why I did more and made them into blankets. And it is just therapeutic. It's so therapeutic. So, oh, Sharon, it's a pleasure. I'm not going to stay on very long tonight because I am actually tired and I want to get some more of this this stitching done, really. And I haven't done the tea yet. I thought Mr. Boo might come up, but he hasn't done. So, oh, tatting. Oh my gosh, that's very, very. I don't think I'd have the patience for that. I used to have a lot of patience when I was younger. I would have a lot of patience, you know, and I would do all sorts, embroideries and everything. But tatting, I don't think I would have the patience to do now. The next thing I want to start is the cat cushion, the tapestry. You Americans don't call it tapestry. What do you call it? I can't remember what you call it. But and again, I always have loads of things on the go because I get bored. One of my traits with my rapid cycling bipolar is I get bored, so I will do it for so long. So but then I can just sit here and pick up a quilt, or pick up a blanket, or pick up whatever I'm sewing, or pick up some cross stitch, or go down my studio, do some colouring, etc. So I'll sit and colour up here if it's really miserable and cold. Instead of being in my studio in winter, I tend to be up here a lot more because it's so dark. Needlepoint, that's what you call it, needlepoint, yeah. Because it's so dark down there, I do sit up here quite often when I'm making samples and a colour. But I just find it a really, really peaceful room. And, you know, some people might look, I mean, we don't have big houses at all. My house might look big, but I'm sort of in all the bedrooms, but it's not a big house. It's just a little terraced house. And, you know, I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's all right for her, and she has this sewing room, and she has this, and she has that, blah, blah, blah. You know, when I moved in this house nearly 32 years ago, and I moved in here with the kids' beds, a mattress for me, and a chair. That was it. That's all I had, like a basket chair, because we came from temporary housing. You know, we were safe. We were safe. We're in a safe house. We came from temporary housing, and so I moved in here. There was no door handles, there was no heating, there was a coal fire, but there wasn't even a grate, there was no light bulbs, you couldn't see, there was no floors, there was the kitchen was a 1950s kitchen. It was just, this house was, you know, and I brought up my kids on my own here, and so like I said, I've been here 30 years. And it's taken 30 years to do it. I've done more this last year because I've been at home. For the last 10, 11 years, I've not really been at home. So, but, you know, I've saved up and paid for it. It's my house, but I love it. But it's, you know, I'm not lucky or anything like that. It's just I've worked really hard for everything, and I just know what my priorities are. And as I keep telling you all, my priorities are my mental health. They are my mental health, and these are the things that keep my mental health going. So my studio is, the studio used to be in the house, but then there was no cut-off. There was just no cut-off. It was all work, no play. So the studio is down at the bottom. This to me is still work. Up here, because you know this all inspired all the quilt stamps and the quilt things, so I still consider that this is sort of work and sewing. So you know, if I'm not in the mood down in the studio for designing or crafting, I will come up here and still feel as though I'm working, because I'll be sorting things out and coming up with ideas, and I just find it's so inspirational, you know, so inspirational. My other sewing machine, I have two sewing machines that I use a lot. My other sewing machine, it's a Janome, is in there. That's what I do all my basic sewing on. The big one behind me, the Dukey, that's the Beauty, that's behind there as well. And then I have loads more sewing machines down there, and I have them up at Art from the Heart as well. I've just always sewn, I've always had, but I love hand sewing. My favourite, I don't mind making the quilts like this, but I just love hand sewing. I'm always doing, if I'm not writing, I'm drawing, or my hands, or anything like that, you know. So and that's the thing to do. So yeah. But my mental health comes first, and that's how. Yes, I have heard of Quillos. They're pillows that are quilted and with a pocket in for you to put a book in, which is really good for people. I don't know if I've got some dresses. Have I got any dresses in here? Hang on. Just 1 minute. Here are some Tula pink dresses. Oh my gosh. So this is the monkey wrench, Tula pink monkey wrench. You can see the monkeys on there. These two dresses here, these silhouettes, portraits, are selling for about $50–60 a person, and I have two dresses covered in them. Each of these dresses is probably worth about $1,000 for the material that's in there. I just remembered, because I don't wear them, so these are hidden. Most of them are in storage, but I do have a few. I just have them there, so every now and again I look at them. And then this one is the one, oops, this is the one I did for CHA in my material. So, and I don't wear dresses anymore. But you never know, I might one day, I might do. I do have 600 of them, so, oh, that's the other colourway. Oops, that is the other colourway, that's the purple. I had it made in 2 colourways. So, there we go. So there still are the odd proper wardrobe thing in here, but not much. Liz, crochet is one of the best things I self-taught myself. Just finished my winter blanket. It's the repetition. It is. Not everybody likes repetition. Not everybody can cope with repetition. You know, and like I say, when I was younger, it was the repetition. Repetition didn't do anything for me. I would buy the hardest pattern, the most complicated. But now it's the repetition. I need the repetition. It's very, very soothing. So yeah, I took the knit under the arm. I wouldn't knit in this chair. You would never knit like this sitting up. So I was probably knitting really weird. Crochet, yeah, I've done loads of crochet. I've got a blanket somewhere I've got a blanket in there as well. I've done everything because when we were younger, we moved. I was very, very hyperactive, and my mum and dad found it really difficult to cope with me. I had a sister and 2 brothers, and my brother and sister were quite ill. And they were hospitalised a lot, and my younger brother was very quiet. So I was extremely hard work. My dad worked away a lot, but they didn't know anything about mental illness then. They didn't know anything of stuff. I was just seen as a naughty child. So people didn't really know what to do with me a lot. And when we moved here, we moved to Harrogate from Batley. And we moved next to, she was an old ward sister from the hospital. We lived opposite a hospital. One of the reasons, so my brother and sister, it was easy for them to be in and out. But she was retired. She'd never married. Her fiance had died in the war. She used to work on the ships. She was a nurse on the ships as well. She was called Eunice Braddock, Miss Braddock. And she was Welsh, and she was tiny. And she lived on her own in the house next to us. And she took me under her wing, and I will forever be grateful to her. And I would imagine that my mum would be forever grateful to her as well, because she just occupied me. She, from a young age, I was 6 when I first went there. She taught me to sew, to knit, to crochet, to do tapestry, to do embroidery, to do cross stitch, to do, she taught me everything except the piano. She had a piano and I couldn't play the piano. And I used to have a bin bag of scraps of material, and I remember taking it from my house to her house. And she had so much patience with me. And, oh, look, I'm playing because I'm getting emotional. So, oh, that's come off. I don't know. I'll have to mend that later. Oh, it's come off there. I don't know, she saved my life really, I would imagine, because she just kept me occupied. And, you know, when my mum couldn't cope with me, she used to just send me next door to Eunice's. Oh, I'll do it later. And Eunice just had all the patience in the world. And I'll be forever, ever grateful to her for that. You know, so when people say, oh yeah, you must have always been creative, I haven't. I've always sewn, and I've always done things like that. I've never done art. I never realised I could do art, because I was told I was rubbish at school because I wouldn't keep inside the lines and that. But I've always done, I've always sewn and knitted and done things like this, and I'll happily teach myself, and I'll happily like that first, I'm surprised I never quilted before, but that first English paper piece in there is probably one of the hardest things to start on, and I just started on it. I'm not bothered, because if I do it badly, I don't mind. I don't mind if I do it badly, because I'm way behind here, sorry. Oh, it's flicked. The comments have flicked through. Because you're learning. You know, you're really, really learning, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you do it badly. I don't do it to get praise for it or to win prizes. First of all, I do it for my mental health, and second of all, I do it because I really enjoy it. So, yeah. Oh, I'm your Eunice, Beth. Oh, that's nice. Everybody should have a Eunice. Yeah. It's really funny, my girls were never interested. They were never interested in doing... you know, I tried to teach them things, and the boys, they were never, I don't know, maybe because it was my work, I was always sewing, I was always doing, maybe it was that, I don't know, but they weren't interested. Maisie was interested, but she's gone off now. She's a typical teacher, teenager, she wanted to do it, but I think she will come back to it and be interested, and I'm hoping that Betsy, and I'm hoping now that I've got more space, that Betsy and Martha will want to come to Grandma's and, you know, do little bits and things like that as well, because it's just fun. It's just fun. So I'm gonna go. I don't know where I'll be tomorrow. I don't know where I'll be. Maybe I'll be back down in my... I'll give you one last look round. Oops, I'll give you one last look round before I go. So this is the view from my sewing desk, and again, it's one of these tables that... It's a rise and fall table again, because when I'm standing, I need to be able to see. So there's I love the Alexander Henry. Oh, those drawers as well are full. They're full of, there's a lot of line work in there and a lot of offcuts and things like this. And also a lot of bags, because this is where I cut for Ben for Apart from the Heart. So the television, that's under there. There's the other one. And let me move the knitting. There are... the other three, the Toolers. I can't imagine how much they are worth now. They weren't worth it when I started collecting them. They were just, you know, they were just fabric. And I've never collected fabric because it was worth anything. They were just fabric. But apparently now I could retire if I sold them. But I would never, ever sell them. So there you go. So I think I'll be back down at the studio. And I'll probably just do a quick one tomorrow, because I am a bit... depleted, should I say. This week has taken it out of me. Yeah, I'm a little bit depleted. So I will come on and we'll do... I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll probably be down in the studio. And because Mental Health Week is the 10th to the 17th, and it's the 17th tomorrow. So if you're just catching me tonight... go back and look. There's a video every single night. I'm celebrating Mental Health Week. I'm celebrating my mental illnesses and everybody else's mental illnesses, because as I've always told you, I feel that it's a gift. It is my, you know, it is my gift. And I was only diagnosed 11 years ago, and up until then I was always just seen as bad or naughty or a rebel. And so it's important to... you know, to get... I'm a massive ambassador for mental health now. Wherever I am in the world, that's the first thing I talk about. If when I walk into a classroom, it's the first thing I talk about. I talk about the mental ill, because it is my gift. So this week has all been about celebrating all your gifts as well, all your mental health issues and illnesses. So that's why I've tried to do lots of different things. Again, if you've enjoyed yourself, I do loads of classes. You know, these have all been for free. If you want to repay me, you could just do you could go and do a little class with me. That would be good. I did a mental health class this time last year. I think it was Distinctly Dylusions 1. That's a 4-day, and that's all art. And it's not like this where I did all the talking. It was a proper class. This is just me wittering away to you all. But that was a proper class there. So that would be nice. But yeah, I wanted to do every single day this year. I wanted to, yeah, just do something every day. So that's why I've come from all these different places in my house. And So tomorrow I'll be back down in the studio. So thank you for hanging with me. And it will still be on. I'll see you tomorrow. I am going now, I think, because I was talking about my granddad, it's made me fancy smoked haddock. So I will, oh, what's that? Dyan, can I ask if Ben will be getting any dialogue backgrounds? Has he not got any? We should have loads. There's two background dialogues. I think one's discontinued, so look for the second one. But he should have loads up there. But one is discontinued. So it might be that. So, oh, I've loved hanging with me this week. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Oh, Annette. That's lovely. Thank you. Jeannie, yes. Oh, Jeannie, were you on last night? I did my skincare routine. You missed it. You'll have to go back and watch skincare routine. Liz, oh, you bought faux quilting. Wonderful. There's faux quilting 101, there's faux quilting 102. And then one of the new ones is, oh, Jan, wonderful. You've signed up for your new class. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. Pleasure, 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 pleasure. Barry, I'll always hang with you. You know that. I'll always hang you. Holly, yes. Thank you. Not on the website. The second one should be, oh yeah, Karen's saying they're there. She bought one today. Karen, if you could pop the link in, if you could be bothered. No, one's sold out. The other one's there. We never run out of stuff like that. So I'm not sure. He's not there at the moment. He's gone away for a couple of days. But there is, I brought one lot out quite a few years ago and they've probably discontinued, but then there's the new ones. But if not, he'll be getting some in. You just fill in a stock request to get, I don't know why it's going blurry, but just fill in a stock request to get a notification when it's back in. But he will have them back in. So nice to see you again, Denise, as well. Donna bought class 30 but not watched it yet. Yeah, new class is coming up. It's a pleasure, pleasure. Oh, somebody signed. Oh, okay, you signed up for the mini collage. Wonderful. Anne, oh, thank you, darling. Thank you. She used to be the big organiser in CHA, the lovely Nadine Schwartz. She's been watching a couple of times this week. And she actually made me cry yesterday because she messaged me and said that she's been watching the mental health talks every evening, and she was just so proud of me. Oh, I don't know why it's blocked, why it's done. And it was nice of somebody to tell me that they felt they were proud of me, because my dad never saw me in business and my mum never saw me successful. So I'm sure they know now. But like I say, they never knew I had a diagnosis of all the mental illnesses I had. I was just, I would like them to know. I never regret anything, and I had quite a difficult time with my family, but I would like them to know that I am the way I am because of that, not just because I was being awkward or anything like that, because my diagnosis were afterwards. So, it's important week to me as well. I just try to give back as much as I can. Okay, so I'll see you all tomorrow. No idea what I'm going to do. But, so I was saying about my granddad. So we were talking about that, and it just made me, my granddad used to sew with me as well. He used to sew my, because my mum didn't have a lot of patience with me because I was a bit of a nightmare. He used to sew my brownie badges on, and I was thinking about him earlier. So I went out and I bought some smoked haddock, and I'm going to have some smoked haddock in memory of my granddad, John Jack Dixon Wilson. So I'm going to have some of that with some cauliflower cheese, of course, and I'll give Boo some of the fish as well. So there we go. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye.